Hello, guys, and my name is Tashika Das. Welcome to my podcast. Today's podcast is a reflective journey through a semester of ethnic studies. Today, I'll explore how our engagements with podcasts, readings, films, and discussions have shaped my understanding of history, race, and resistance. I've structured this episode into 4 segments that will connect practice-based research with rich and rational narratives of our past and present. So let's begin. Now, segment 1, our podcast and practice-based research. In this first segment, I want to share how my semester long engagement with various podcasts has informed both the strategies and the ethics behind this project. One key example comes from the key concept from a podcast called The Legacy of Jim Crow. This key concept, it reminds me that while official segregation may have ended, the ideologies and system of racism evolved rather than disappeared. This podcast really pushed me to ask, how do the echoes of segregation still influences our workplaces, schools, and communities today? Now, another enlightening episode, or a podcast, I would say, was actually a key concept that I got from a podcast. Amor was the disabling of hearts, minds, and bodies. This discussion explored how even educational systems designed to enlighten can advertently suppresses critical thinking and reinforces outdated, unfair ideas. This insight compelled me to examine how education can both constrain and liberate, a duality central to understand systematic injustice. Now, finally, the podcast name Entanglement opened my eyes to the cultural interconnections created by projects like the Panama Canal. It wasn't just about connecting oceans. It was about merging traditions, foods, and way of lives. This really made me wonder, how did these cultural exchanges shape Panama's nationality or national identity over time? Now, these podcast examples provided concrete research strategies and instilled an ethical approach to storytelling, one that sees history as living narrative. With that foundation, I move to the broader themes of ethnic studies, which brings us to our next segment. Segment 2, our entire semester, ethnic studies and futures. Now, in this segment, I'll define ethnic study as a field and discuss its significance for analyzing race, history, and our collective future. First, let's consider anguished past, troubled present, the savagery and promise of traumatic memory. This reading isn't just a historical account, it's a deep dive into the emotional scars left by the colonial conquest. By exploring personal and narratives and inherited trauma, it teaches us that history is about lived experiences that shaped our identities. It's something really to think about. Now, I do want to get into our next topic. Next is resistant revolts and return to Africa. So this particular reading expands this view by highlighting acts of defiance. It documents how African Muslims and enslaved people resisted forced conversions and colonial domination, celebrating the resilience of those who fought for their identity and freedom. This reading shows that ethnic studies isn't just merely about examining past oppression, it's about reclaiming voices that continue to inspire change. Now, additionally, Jason M. Colby's Banana Growing and Negro Management. This provides a critical lens on U.S. imperial practices by exploring how racialized labor systems were exported to Central America. It reveals that U.S. racial policies under Jim Crow have global implication. This example reinforces ethnic studies as essential for understanding the interconnectedness of race, power, and economics. Together, these examples demonstrate that ethnic studies is an evolving conversation. It challenges us to interrogate our past, to envision equitable futures, and reminds us that our shared histories are the foundations for collective healing. Segment 3. Collective witnessing is embodied and relational. Now, in this third segment, I'll focus on collective witnessing, how history becomes intimate, embodied, and continuously present. Raoul Peck's documentary, Exterminate All the Brutes, serves as a powerful example. Now, some things from Anguish Past, Troubled Present. We see how personal trauma and historical memory intertwine. Peck interlaces archival footage with personal testimonies, forcing us to confront colonial violence as a lived, emotional experience rather than a distant event. Similarly, Resistance, Revolts, and Returns to Africa reminded us that acts of resistance are not confined to history. The rebellious spirit of African Muslims and enslaved people is echoed in Peck's portrayal of defiance. A reminder that the struggle against oppression is both individual and collective. Now, additionally, Jason M. Colby's Banana Growing and Negro Management exposes the brutal realities of racialized labor practices. The stark imagery in this text parallels the visual impact of Peck's documentary, which challenges us to see that the wounds of past exploitation continue to inform our present social structures. What makes this approach transformative is its embodiment of history. It isn't just learned, but rather felt deeply. Peck's innovative narrative invites us to witness history in an intimate, collective manner, urging us to remember and act on the legacies of colonial violence. Now we'll be transitioning to our next segment, which is connecting Exterminate All the Brutes to our entire semester learning. Segment 4, Connecting Exterminate All the Brutes to our entire semester learning. In our final segment, I'll exterminate all the brutes to the broader themes we have explored throughout the semester and show how it expands to our understanding of global histories of race. Reflecting on anguished past, troubled present, we learned that historical trauma from colonial conquest continues to shape our identities. Peck's documentary transforms archival evidence into visceral narratives that forces us to confront the ongoing legacy of colonial violence. Next, resistance, revolts, and returns to Africa highlighted the enduring spirit of defiance among marginalized people. Exterminate All the Brutes carries this forward, empathizing that the act of resistance are timeless and interconnected across continent. Jason M. Colby's banana growing and Negro management illustrate how U.S. racial policies like those under Jim Crow were exported to Central America, linking domestic injustice to global imperial practices. Peck's film reinforces this idea by revealing how power structures and exploitation transcends the borders. Finally, our discussion on the legacy of Jim Crow have continuously shown that segregation and discrimination evolve. Exterminate All the Brutes encapsulates this evolution by linking the scars of the past to the present day struggles, demonstrating that our shared human histories are interwoven, even if painful. In some, by fusing personal memory, scholarly analysis, and powerful visual narratives, Exterminate All the Brutes acts as a bridge connecting our past with our future. It challenges us to reckon with historical injustice while envisioning a more just and interconnected world. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey through practice-based research and relational ethnic studies. I hope today's exploration has deepened your understanding of how history, race, and resistance intersect, and why acknowledging our shared past is crucial for building a better future. Stay curious, keep questioning, and remember, our past shapes us, but it doesn't have to define us. Until next time, take care.